Okay, so we need shout out. And then we need. Oops, I got this on 480p. Oops. Okay. Okay, that's good. Let's see. Hold on 1 sec and I'll get the music. So put it there. Bliss, hello. No, not the ads. Not the ads. Okay, skip. But Bliss, how you been? Welcome. Thanks for coming in so fast. I haven't streamed so long. Can you hear the music okay? Probably not, I don't know. Oh yeah, there's something I need to add. What? Actually, no, that probably will shut it down. Okay, that's good. So how you been, Bliss? Wait, I gotta get this off the screen. There we go. Wow, I look green for you. But I didn't want stream to crash. But yeah, this is kind of, I guess, a test episode of Cozy Corner where, well, I kind of just do streams like I've normally been doing, but now it has a name. Just talking and listening to chill lo-fi late at night. So what you been up to, Bliss? I'm not really vibing with this music right now. Let's try that one. That's a little better. Just playing games a bunch? Ooh, what kind of games you been playing? Dun, 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 na, 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 na. American Truck Simulator. That's a thing? Wait, what do you do in American Truck Simulator? Oh, I just noticed. Let's see, wait. Oh, wait. Huh. Wait, no. Lift it up a little bit. Deliver cargo. I've been doing the Christmas event. Oh, cool. So is it like a console game or mobile game? What do you do for the event? Or what do you get in the event? I want to try out the goat simulator game. I like goats, they look kind of fun. Dun, 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 dun. No ads. But yeah, what all do you do for the? It's on Steam. Deliver 15 loads to or from the special winter map they have. Driving in the snow is slippery. Okay, how does Steam work? I tried. It has a mobile app, right? Because like I tried making an account, but like for some reason it wouldn't work. That was a few months ago though, so I don't remember why it didn't work. I'm bad with tech, okay, or the apps anyway. I'm cold. I chose the wrong room in the house to stream in. I was like not going to stream for a minute because it's so cold, but I'm like, nah, I'll do it. I want to stream. It has a mobile app, but I think it's mostly a manager for the PC. Oh, okay. Do you have to have like a large processing PC for Steam to run, or like how does that work? If it's like a manager and stuff, I don't know. Wait, what time is it? Oh my lord, it's 2 in the morning. What the heck? I didn't realize it was so late. What? How late is it for everyone else? No, Steam is pretty gentle on the computer as it assists the library and store for games. Alright, that's good, that's good. It is 6:42 a.m. Oh, dang, did you just wake up? You didn't sleep yet? You didn't sleep yet? Okay. Why didn't you sleep yet? Don't tell me you were playing Truck Simulator all night. All morning, night, what? Nodders. You were playing Truck Simulator till 7? Are you even still playing it? What are you doing? You're just relaxing now? Oh, yeah, that's good. But still, go sleep. Here, I'll put you on some better sleeping music so you can relax with the stream. I will in probably 2 hours. There, you should be able to hear the music better now. You need to sleep soon, though. How's the volume now? This good volume. All right, there we go. Ah! Don't close on me. You can't close on me. What? There's no way. What? They've made it where you can't background play now? Wait a minute. There's no way. Wait. Wait a minute. I can't make YouTube a little square. That makes no. Wait, no. No. I can't play. What? Wait, no, that can't be right. What? They made it where I can't play. Or I can't. What? No. Ah, what? Now I can't draw? While this is going? What? Wait, let me try this on a different video. If this... No! Ass! No! Start with this. I don't know what. Okay, that. No! What? I can't have music playing while I'm doing other stuff? What? Well, chat, I guess it's just you and me. Well, not really chat, just me and Bliss. Okay, so that's a little. Well, I guess I could read a story. Does anyone want to hear me read on with Alice in Wonderland, I guess? Pog story time? Alright, that's what we'll do then. Because YouTube made it where I can't have YouTube playing a small screen in the corner. Well, that's so weird. Did I accidentally turn off where I can't? That makes no sense. Since when can I not? Yeah, it's appear on top, picture in picture loud. That what the heck? That's so annoying. Freaking YouTube and their premium. I don't want to pay premium for freaking YouTube. That's so weird. Why would... Wait, why am I on Play Store? Hey. I should definitely one day try getting this like on Discord on my tablet and seeing on call if I can fix the volume issue, or I can finally stream a game from it again. Chapter 2 of Alice in Wonderland. The Pool of Tears. Curiouser and curiouser, cried Alice. She was so much surprised that for the moment she quite forgot how to speak good English. Now I am opening out like the largest telescope that ever was. Goodbye, feet. For when she looked down at her feet, they seemed to be almost out of sight. They were getting so far off. Oh, my poor little feet. I wonder who will put on your shoes and stockings for you now, dears. I'm sure I shan't be able. I shall be a great deal too far off to trouble myself about you. You must manage the best way you can. But I must be kind to them, thought Alice, or perhaps they won't walk the way I want to go. Let me see, I'll give them a nice pair of boots every Christmas. Imagine having a conversation with your feet. And she went on planning to herself how she would manage it. They might go by the carrier, she thought, and how funny it'll seem sending presents to one's own feet, and how odd the directions will look. Alice's right foot, ESQ, hearth rug near the fender with Alice's long. Oh dear, what nonsense I'm talking. Just at that moment her head struck against the roof of the hall. In fact, she was now rather more than 9 feet high, and she at once took up the little golden key and hurried off to the garden door. Poor Alice! It was as much as she could do, lying down on one side to look down into the garden with one eye, but to get through was more hopeless than ever. She sat down and began to cry again. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, said Alice. A great girl like you, she might as well say this, to go on crying this way. Stop it this moment, I tell you. But she went on all the same, shedding gallons of tears until there was a little pool around her, about 4 inches deep and reaching halfway down the hall. After a time, she heard a little pattering of feet in the distance, and she hastily dried her eyes to see what was coming. It was the the white rabbit returning, splendidly dressed, with a pair of white kid gloves in one hand and a large fan in the other. He came trotting along. Sayuri, am I? Sorry, I'm butchering the name. Are you a first timer here? I don't recognize the name. I'm sorry, I'm bad with names. If you're not, but yeah, I'm trying to do a thing called Cozy Corner where I do like late night streams and chat and play lo-fi music in the background and just relax. And I'm reading Alice in Wonderland right now. Yes, yes to you are a first timer or not? Sorry, I talk too much when asking questions. Bong bong. But yeah, welcome in, welcome in. Thanks for joining the stream. Like I said, we're reading Alice in Wonderland if you want to stick around. Alright, so let's see. The heck is that animation? That's my PNG model. I have it where it bounces up and down when I talk and Are you hopping every time you talk? Yeah, it's hold on, let me see if I can. Yeah, it's a setting on this app. So like whenever I talk, it bounces me up and down. It does look a little weird, but I figured like is more interesting, like, or keeps people's attention more than just like if I was just standing here still with my mouth opening and closing. Because when I was making my model, I forgot to add like eye animations and stuff, jumping jacks. Yeah, I may not be getting my exercise, but virtual me is. Wait, 1 second, 1 second. I am dead. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. You still there, everyone? Alright, so where was I? It was the White Rabbit returning. Alright, on with the story. Yee! It was the White Rabbit returning, splendidly dressed, with a pair of white kid gloves in one hand and a large fan in the other, and came trotting along in a great hurry, muttering to himself as he came, "Oh, the Duchess! Oh, the Duchess! Oh, won't she be savage if I kept her waiting?" Alice felt so desperate that she was ready to ask help of anyone. So when the rabbit came near her, she began in a low, timid voice, "If you please, sir." The rabbit started violently, dropping the white kid gloves and the fan, and scurried away into the darkness as hard as he could go. Sorry. Alice took up the fan and gloves, and as the hall was very hot, she kept fanning herself all the time she went on talking. "Dear, oh dear, how weird everything is today. And yesterday things were on just as usual. I wonder if I've been changed in the night. Let me think. Was I the same when I got up this morning? I almost think I can remember feeling a little different. But if I'm not the same, the next question is, who in the world am I? Ah, that's the great puzzle." And she began thinking over all the children she knew that were of the same age as herself, to see if she could have been changed from any of them. "I'm sure I'm not Ada," she said, "for her hair goes in such long ringlets, and mine don't go in ringlets at all. And I'm sure I can't be Mabel, for I know all sorts of things, and she knows such a very little. Besides, she's she and I'm I, and oh dear, how puzzling it all is. I'll try if I know all the things I used to know. Let me see, 4 times 5 is 12, and 4 times 6 is 13, and 4 times 7 is, oh dear, I shall never get to 20 at this rate. However, the multiplication table doesn't signify. Let's try geography. London is the capital of Paris, and Paris is the capital of Rome, and Rome, no, that's all wrong. I'm certain I must have been changed for Mabel. I'll try and say, how doth the little... And she crossed her hands on her lap as if she were saying lessons, and began to repeat it. But her voice sounded hoarse and strange, and the words did not come out the same way they used to do. "How doth the little crocodile improve his shining tail, and pour the waters of the Nile on every golden scale? How cheerfully he seems to grin, how neatly spread his claws, and welcomes little fishes with gently swimming jaws." "I'm sure those are not the right words," said poor Alice, and her eyes filled with tears again as she went on. "I must be Mabel after all, and I shall have to go and live in that poky little house and have next to no toys to play with. And oh, ever so many lessons to learn. No, I've made up my mind about it. If I'm Mabel, I'll stay down here. It'll be no use their putting their heads down and saying, 'Come up again, dear.' I shall only look up and say, 'Who am I then?' Tell me that first, and then, if I like being that person, I'll come up. If not, I'll stay down here till I'm somebody else." "But oh dear," cried Alice, with a sudden burst of tears, "I do wish they would put their heads down. I am so very tired of being all alone here." As she said this, she looked down at her hands, and was surprised to see that she had put on one of the rabbit's little white kid gloves while she was talking. "How can I have done that?" she thought. "I must be growing small again." She got up and went to the table to measure herself by it, and found that, as nearly as she could guess, she was now about 2 feet high, and was going on shrinking rapidly. She soon found out that the cause of this was the fan she was holding, and she dropped it hastily, just in time to save herself from shrinking away altogether. "That was a narrow escape," said Alice, a good deal frightened at the sudden exchange, but very glad to find herself still in existence. "And now for the garden." And she ran with all speed back to the little door, but alas, the little door was shut again, and the little golden key was lying on the glass table as before. "And things are worse than ever," thought the poor child, "for I was never so small as this before, never. and I declare it's too bad that it is." As she said these words, her foot slipped, and in another moment, splash, she was up in her chin in salt water. Her first idea was that she had somehow fallen into the sea, and in that case I can go back by the railway, she said to herself. Alice had been to the seaside once in her life, and had come to the general conclusion that whenever you go on the English coast, you find a number of bathing machines in the sea, some children digging in the sand with wooden spades, then a row of houses, and behind them a railway station. However, she soon made out that she was in a pool of tears which she had wept when she was 9 feet high. "I wish I hadn't cried so much," said Alice, as she swam about trying to find her way out. "I shall be punished for it now, I suppose, by being drowned in my own tears. That will be a weird thing, to be sure. However, everything is weird today." Just then she heard something splashing about in the pool a little way off, and she swam nearer to make out what it was. At first she thought it must be a walrus or a hippopotamus, but then she remembered how small she was now, and she soon made out that it was only a mouse that had slipped in like herself. Would it be of any use now, thought Alice, to speak to this little mouse? Everything is so out of the way down here that I should try very likely it can talk, that I think very likely that it can talk. At any rate, there's no harm in trying. So she began. "Oh, Mouse, do you know the way out of this pool? I am very tired of swimming around here, oh Mouse." Alice thought this must be the right way of speaking to a mouse. She had never done such a thing before, but she remembered having seen in her brother's Latin grammar, "A mouse of a mouse to a mouse, oh mouse." The mouse looked at her rather inquisitively, and seemed to her to wink with one of its little eyes, but it said nothing. "Perhaps it doesn't understand English," thought Alice. "I dare say it's a French mouse, come over with William the Conqueror." For with all her knowledge of history, Alice had no very clear notion how long ago anything had happened. So she began again. "Oui, est ma chete." I butchered that, I'm sorry. Which was the first sentence in her French lesson book. The mouse gave a sudden leap out of the water, and seemed to quiver all over with fright. "Oh, I beg your pardon," cried Alice hastily, afraid that she had hurt the poor animal's feelings. "I quite forgot you didn't like cats." "Not like cats!" cried the mouse in a shrill, passionate voice. "Would you like cats if you were me?" "Well, perhaps not," said Alice in a soothing tone. "Don't be angry about it, and yet I wish I could show you our cat Diana. I think you'd take a fancy to cats if you could only see her. She is such a dear, quiet thing," Alice went on, half to herself, as she swam lazily about in the pool. "And she sits purring so nicely by the fire, licking her paws and washing her face. She is such a nice soft thing to nurse, and she's such a capital one for catching mice." "Oh, I beg your pardon," cried, for this time the mouse was bristling all over, and she felt certain it must be really offended. "We won't talk about her any more if we'd rather not." "We indeed!" cried the mouse, who was trembling down to the end of its tail. "As if I would talk on such a subject. Our family always hated cats, nasty, low, vulgar things. Don't let me hear the name again." When yaps, she reminds me of Mr. Hippo. Wait, what's Mr. Hippo? "I won't indeed," said Alice, in a great hurry to change the subject of the conversation. Are you fond of dogs?" The mouse did not answer, so Alice went on eagerly. "There is such a nice little dog near our house I should like to show you. A little bright-eyed terrier, you know, with such long curly brown hair. It'll fetch things when you throw them, and it'll sit up and beg for its dinner, and all sorts of things. I can't remember half of them, and it belongs to a farmer, you know, and he says it's so useful. It worked 100 pounds. He says it kills all the rats, and oh dear," cried Alice in a sorrowful tone, "I'm afraid I've offended it again." Mr. Hippo from FNAF Ultimate Custom Night, so soothing. Ah, nice. Let's see. For the mouse was swimming away from her as hard as it could go, and making quite a commotion in the pool as it went. So she called softly after it, "Mouse dear, do come back again, and we won't talk about cats or dogs either if you don't like them." When the mouse heard this, it turned around and swam slowly back to her. Its face was quite pale, with passion, Alice thought, and it said in a low, trembling voice, "Let us get to the shore, and then I'll tell you my history, and you'll understand why it is I hate cats and dogs." It was high time to go, for the pool was getting quite crowded with the birds and animals that had fallen into it. There was a duck and a dodo, a lory and an eaglet, and several other curious creatures. Alice led the way, and the whole party swam to the shore. That was the end of chapter 2. What did y'all think so far before we begin chapter 3? Let's see. How much battery life? That should last another chapter. Alright. Chapter 3. A Caucus Race and a Long Tail. They were indeed a weird-looking party that assembled on the bank. The birds were draggled with feathers, the animals with their fur clinging close to them, and all dripping wet, cross, and uncomfortable. The first question, of course, was how to get dry again. They had a consolation about this, and after a few minutes, it seemed quite natural to Alice to find herself talking familiarly with them, as if she had known them all her life. Indeed, she had quite a long agreement with the lory. She could read Uzumaki or Goya by for real. She had quite a long agreement with the lory, who at last turned sulky, and would only say, "I am older than you, and must know better." And this Alice would not allow, without knowing how old it was, and as the lory positively refused to tell its age, there was no more to be said. At last the mouse, who seemed to be a person of authority among them, called out, "Sit down, all of you, and listen to me. I'll soon make you dry enough." I feel silly doing voices, but yeah, what? They all sat down at once in a large ring, with the mouse in the middle. Alice kept her eyes anxiously fixed on it, for she felt sure she would catch a bad cold if she did not get dry again soon. "Ahem," said the mouse with an important air. "Are you all ready? This is the driest thing I know. Silence all around, if you please. William the Conqueror, whose cause was favored by the Pope, was soon submitted to by the English, who won its leaders, and had been of late much accustomed to usurpation and conquest. Edwin and Morcar, the Earls of Mercia and Northumbria." "Ugh," said the lory with a shiver. "I beg your pardon," said the mouse, frowning, but very politely. "Did you speak?" "Not I," said the lory hastily. "I thought you did," said the mouse. Said the mouse. "I proceed. Edwin and Morcar, the Earls of Mercia and Northumbria, declared for him, and even Stignad, the patriarch Archbishop of Canterbury, found it advisable." "Sheesh! Found what?" said the duck. "Found it," the mouse replied rather crossly. "Of course you know what it means." "I know what it means well enough when I find a thing," said the duck. "It's generally a frog or a worm. The question is, what did the Archbishop find?" The mouse did not notice this question, but hurriedly went on. "Found it advisable to go on with Edgar Althing to meet William, and forever him the crown. William's conduct at first was moderate, but the insolence of his Normans— How are you getting on now, my dear?" it continued, turning to Alice as it spoke. "As wet as ever," said Alice in a melancholy tone. "It doesn't seem to dry me at all." In that case, said the dodo solemnly, rising to his feet, I move that the meeting adjourn for the immediate adoption of more energetic remedies. Speak English, said the eaglet. I don't know the meaning of half those long words, and what's more, I don't believe you do either. And the eaglet bent down its head to hide a smile. Some of the other birds teetered audibly. What I was going to say, said the dodo in a offended tone, was that the best thing to get us dry would be a caucus race. What is a caucus race? Said Alice. Not that she wanted much to know, but the dodo had paused as if it thought that somebody had ought to speak, and no one else seemed inclined to say anything. That's my dad sneezing in the background if you hear. Why, said the dodo, the best way to explain it is to do it. And you might try the thing yourself some winter day. I will tell you how the dodo managed it. First, it marked out a race course in a sort of circle. The exact shape doesn't matter, it said. Jesus, my dad, okay. And then all the party were placed along the course, here and there. There was no 1, 2, 3 and away, but they began running when they liked and left off when they liked, so that it was not easy to know when the race was over. However, when they had been running half an hour or so, and were quite dry once again, the dodo suddenly called out, "The race is over," and they all crowded around it, panting and asking, "But who has won?" This question the dodo could not answer without a great deal of thought, and it stood for a long time with one finger pressed upon its forehead, the position in which you usually see Shakespeare in the picture of him, while the rest waited in silence. At last the dodo said, "Everybody has won, and all must have prizes." "But who is to get the prizes?" quite a chorus of voices asked. "Why, she, of course," said the dodo, pointing to Alice with one finger, and the whole party at once crowded around her, calling out in a confused way, "Prizes! Prizes!" Alice had no idea what to do, and in despair she put her hand into her pocket and pulled out a box of comfits. Luckily, the salt water had not gone into it, and handed them around as prizes. There was exactly one apiece all round. Sorry about the heater in the background. "But she must have a prize herself, you know," said the "But she must have a prize herself, you know," said the mouse. "Of course," the dodo replied very gravely. "What else have you got in your pocket?" he went on, turning to Alice. "No, only a thimble," said Alice sadly. "Hand it over here," said the dodo. Then they all crowded round her once more, while the dodo solemnly presented the thimble, saying, "We beg your acceptance of this elegant thimble." And when it was finished, the short speech, they all cheered. "Hello, Archamentos. Welcome in, welcome in." We're reading Alice in Wonderland. If you want to stick around and listen, thank you for joining the stream. Hope you're having a good day. What you been up to today? Also, is this your first time or not? Your name does look familiar, but I'm trying to remember. Stick around for Mousy. Alice thought the whole thing was very absurd, but they all looked so grave that she did not dare to laugh, and as she could not think of anything to say, she simply bowed and took the thimble, looking as solemn as she could. The next thing was to eat the comfits. Oh, it's you. I'm sorry. I haven't streamed for so long, I don't recognize anyone's names. I'm sorry. It's an inside joke. It's you, Lamau. Alright, let's see. Let me right here. The next thing was to eat the comfits. This caused some noise and confusion, as the large birds complained that they could not taste theirs, and the small ones choked and had to be patted on the back. However, it was over at last, and they sat down again in a ring and begged the mouse to tell them something more. You promised to tell me your history, you know, said Alice, and why it is you hate C and D, she added in a whisper, half afraid that it would be offended again. Mine is a long and sad tale, said the mouse, turning to Alice and sighing. It is a long tale, certainly, said Alice, looking down with wonder at the mouse's tail. But why do you call it sad? And she kept on puzzling about it while the mouse was speaking, so that her idea of the tale was something like this. Furry said to a mouse that he met in the house, "Let us both go to law. I will prosecute you. Come, I'll take no denial. We must have a trial, for really this morning I've nothing to do." So the mouse of the cut, "Such a trial, dear sir, with no jury or judge would be wasting your breath. I'll be judge, I'll be jury," said cunning old Fury. "I'll try the whole cause and condemn you to death." What the heck? "You are not attending," said the mouse to Alice severely. "What are you thinking of?" "I beg your pardon," said Alice very humbly. "You had got to the fifth bend, I think?" "I had not," cried the mouse, sharply and very angrily. "A knot," said Alice, trying to make herself useful and looking anxiously about her. "Oh, do let me help you undo it." "I shall do nothing of the sort," said the mouse, getting up and walking away. "You insult me by talking such nonsense." "I didn't mean it," pleaded poor Alice, "but you're so easily offended, you know." The mouse only growled in reply. "Please come back and finish your story," Alice called after it, and the others all joined in chorus. "Yes, please do," but the mouse only shook its head impatiently and walked a little quicker. "What a pity it wouldn't stay," said the Lory, as soon as it was quite out of sight, and an old crab took the opportunity of saying to her daughter, "Ah, my dear, let this be a lesson to you never to lose your temper." "Hold your tongue, Ma," said the young crab a little snappishly. "You're enough to try the patience of any oyster." "I wish I had our Diana here. I know I do," said Alice aloud, addressing nobody in particular. "She'd soon fetch it back." "And who is Diana, if I might venture to ask the question?" said the Lory. Alice replied eagerly, for she was always ready to talk about her pet. "Diana's our cat, and she's such a capital one for catching mice. You can't think, and oh, I wish you could see her after birds. Why, she'll eat a little bird as soon as look at it." This speech caused a remarkable sensation among the party. Some of the birds hurried off at once. One old magpie began wrapping itself up very carefully, remarking, "I must really be getting home. The night air doesn't suit my throat." And the canary called out in a trembling voice to its children, "Come away, my dears. It's high time you were all in bed." On various pretexts, they all moved off, and Alice was soon left alone. "I wish I hadn't mentioned Diana," she said to herself in a melancholy tone. "Nobody seems to like her down here, and I'm sure she's the best cat in the world. Oh, my dear Diana, I wonder if I shall ever see you any more." And here poor Alice began to cry again, for she felt very lonely and low-spirited. In a little while, however, she again heard a little pattering of footsteps in the distance, and she looked up eagerly, half hoping that the mouse had changed his mind and was coming back to finish his story. Alright, that's the end of chapter 3. And it is 3 in the morning for me, and I should probably sleep. I'm kind of sleepy. Once I started streaming and just sitting here, I'm like, ugh. Thank you, Sayuri, for joining the stream. It was awesome having you here. If you want, you can join the Discord. And I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, Discord. I have a Twitter. But yeah, I am gonna end stream. Thank you for the stream, ooh. You're welcome, ooh. But yeah, bye guys. It was great having you all here. Thank you for all stopping by. Let's see, where's the exit button? Where's the exit button? Where's the exit button? Oh, there's the exit button. Bye.